Hello and welcome to another session by Chevening Brazil. I'm Chris Lima and I'm really happy and honored to be joined by excellent guests today to deliver our second session in English, focusing on studying at the University of Birmingham. So we have here one Chevening alum from Brazil, Vitor, who studied at the University of Birmingham. We have a representative from the University of Birmingham, Luis, joining us as well to talk to us about what it's like to apply for that university, what courses are available, what they're looking for in applications. And I'm also joined by two incredible colleagues, Chevening officers from Mexico and Ecuador, Kimi and Daphne, and we'll be telling you all about what it's like to apply for Chevening. So Chevening, as you know, is a scholarship that offers full funding for postgraduate study in the United Kingdom. So, this session is very much geared towards enlightening what that process is like. As you know, you have to apply for universities and apply separately to Chevening. So, we're here to help you navigate that. So without further ado, let's start with an account from our alum, Vitor. Vitor, can you tell us what it was like to embark on this process of looking for funding for postgraduate study, what challenges you faced, and how you came across the University of Birmingham. And before you start, can I ask everyone to feel free to ask us questions on the chat? You can ask any of us questions. We'll be choosing from those as we go. All right, over to you, Vitor.
Awesome. Thank you. It's a pleasure being in touch with you guys again. It's been a while since I moved back to Brazil. I studied there in 2016. So every time that I have the chance to talk about it, it's great because the experience was really life changing. So just trying to follow the steps by it. I used to work for a multinational company called ArcelorMittal, is the biggest steel maker in the world, and I dreamed about living abroad. So I wanted to have this international experience. So I started looking for scholarships, and I understood that the process was a little bit complex and it would demand a lot of time to understand how they work. Um, and when I found Chevening, I was like in love because the process was easier to understand when I was comparing with other scholarships. So that friendly environment of applying and having good amount of information like we are doing today, that changes a lot because when you are applying, you need to invest time and understand if you have the what it takes to be there, and the process is long. So investing time is really important. But since from the beginning I was able to find a lot of information and the network of Chevening, because of the profile we are looking for, people are engaged really well and help each other, and the alumni network was really helpful as well. So I remember that the first thing that I did was reach out to every Chevening alumni in my city, and they were very open, like helping with good amount of information. Um, so one thing that was really important was to understand the scholarships, to understand the process, to get information. Um, and I remember that the thing that was really strong about the University of Birmingham is that as the university is very global and they receive a lot of global students, the platform is really helpful and really friendly about what documents you need to apply, and the step by step, and the contact with them was really good. And that's why I chose Birmingham as one of the options when I applied to Chevening, because I didn't want to get the scholarship and not be okay with the university. That was my biggest. I was afraid of it. So, knowing that the university knows how to deal with global students, and being able to provide the information that I needed to follow the process that I have to. That was one of the reasons why I chose the university. So after that, when I got in UK, was kind of a surprise because I didn't know the city that much. I knew London a little bit and some cities in Scotland, but Birmingham, I knew it was in the middle of the island, but the famous Midlands, but I didn't know how it would be to live there. So started reaching out to Brazilian people that live there, and the university itself receives a lot of Brazilian people and people from Latin America. So, and they were very open, giving a lot of information about the city and the like accommodation and places to go. Um, and before that, I remember going to the event in London. The Chevening event was really cool. The day is unforgettable. Like getting in touch with people from all over the world and the Brazilian people from Chevening as well. Even today, we have the group in WhatsApp that we talk about business and politics and everything. So even today, we are like 100 people, I guess, and we are in touch. So the first time I saw them was in this Chevening event. So one good tip is to enjoy the Chevening events because they are very good for network and a lot of very good content as well. So um, living there, living in Birmingham. I'm not sure if I'm going too fast, Chris. Just let me know.
No, no, it's all good. I was going to ask you, so what was it like living in Birmingham?
Great. So the first challenge was the weather because I used to live in Belo, now I live in Rio. So facing the weather in UK could be a challenge for some people, and the daylight as well because when you get into winter, your body is not fit to that, so it's a challenge. But after living there for 1 year, every time that rains here in Rio, I get out to run to feel the rain that I used to feel almost every day in Birmingham. And I remember that I bought a bike in the first week, and I used this bike for 1 year there because the logistics is kind of easy. I used to live in Sally Oak, that it's a neighborhood like one block away or 2 blocks away from the university. And I lived with a German friend, a Turkish friend, and a Chinese friend that also they used to study in the university. So the experience about living with people from other countries was really cool, and I am in contact with them nowadays. And in this neighborhood a lot of students live there, so it's like it's safe and it's very good to live, it's nearby and things like that. I had friends that used to live in the accommodations of the university that are really good. The logistics is they are easier, but again you can live around the university, that it's really nice. um, the university is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's unbelievable. I really miss the old Joe. That it's the big clock you have in the middle of the university. I miss a lot the games and the sports part of the university. They are really strong. We have a fair at the beginning of the season, showing every sports that you can participate and be part of the teams. I tried to get in the soccer team, but I didn't make it because the level was higher than I expected. I was kind of frustrated about it, but it was a good experience. Um, and Another interesting thing was about the food because I had to adapt a little bit and understand the places that the food was like not very expensive and good, closer to the Brazilian food that I was used to. And you have great options inside the university and around the university as well. The logistics are easy because you have a station inside the university and you have another one nearby the university, so you can get to the downtown and the, the other parts of the city easily. I remember that I really like going to the Bull Ring, is the shopping mall in the city center. That is really cool, and you have a lot of interesting things to do in the city. Like there's a football club in the city that I forgot the name. Maybe Luis can help me. Newcastle, I guess, Aston Villa. I'm not sure now, but I remember
Yeah,
going to
El Villa, the Aston Villa, yes.
Aston Villa. Yeah, and I remember that I bought the tickets in this fair that you guys do it at the beginning of the season. So don't miss out because it's the opportunity of taking the most of the experience, like knowing the sports you can participate, knowing the events of the uni. The uni has a strong um, groups as well. So if you want to talk about religion, you have a group of religion. If you want to talk about food, you have the group that talks about food. You have the Latin American people. You anything you find there, and it's really important to build your social network as soon as you arrive because you don't need to be alone in this experience, and it's all about knowing people and having fun and studying as well. I remember that in my classroom it was we had a lot of students, and that's good because I was able to make a lot of friends. I have a group of 10 people from all over the place that we reach out every 2 years. So 2 years ago they came to my wedding, and so I have friends that will stick on for the rest of my life. And I had to dedicate as well. I had to study a lot. I had to organize myself to go. The library is amazing there. All the libraries, you have the main library, but you have a lot of places you can study. So I had to dedicate on that as well, a lot of hours dedicating and studying for the tests and the essays. And one thing that was interesting was that I had a lot of intelligent students from all over the place, and I wasn't confident enough about the ranking that I would get to in my course. And at the end of the day, I was the best student out of 200 students, I guess, and I received an award. And that's something really interesting because here in Brazil, sometimes you feel like, oh, we are not as good as we think we are. But I remember that one of the things that was important to achieve this goal was that there was a professor, John Bryce. I'm not sure if he's in the university in these years, but he every year he gets two students only. And when I told him that I was from Chevening, he selected me because of that, because he knew that I was going to be dedicated and get there. And that was that made a lot of difference to get this final results. So, and when I came back for Brazil, being Chevening and having this experience um, made possible to be in the position I am today. So the journey, the whole journey, I can see it happening. Like if I didn't have this experience before, I would never be in the position, the leadership position I am nowadays. I run an office from Robert Half, that it's a multinational company, headhunting company, and they're really strong in the UK as well. And I um, 8 years after Chevening, I really look back and I'm very proud of having this experience because really changed my life as a person, as a professional.
Thank you so much, Vitor. You gave us such a honest and open account about your experiences. Sounds like you made friends for life. You were really pushed, intellectually at the University of Birmingham, and that made you excel. And congratulations on being where you are today. And thank you also for sharing amazing tips. So we will now look to Luis to tell us a little bit about the university and the courses on offer at the school that you're in and what you're looking for in applicants. Okay, and I'll welcome any questions in the chat. So please post your questions there if you have any. We'll be happy to answer them. Okay, Louise, over to you.
Thank you so much, Chris, for the invitation. It was really exciting to hear about your experience, Victor. I am so glad that you had a nice time at Birmingham. Would it be okay if I start with a video that the university has prepared for international applicants?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see if it works. Let's hope it works. So now, do you see my screen? Yeah. Right? Yes. So
Yes.
I'm going to hit play to see if it works. Okay, so I can see in the chat that the video isn't coming through, or at least that the sound isn't coming.
But that's
right?
not to worry, Louise. We could see the images fine.
All right, so if that's okay, then I'm just gonna continue with the presentation in the presenting mode. So I'm just gonna share my slides now. This was a video, and anyway, it's available on YouTube if you wanna give it a watch, but it basically outlines what the university has to offer. And since it is a large university, I cannot talk about the whole offer that we have. So that's what I am going to talk about, what we know, what I know, which is my experience in the College of Arts and Law in the languages of, in the School of Languages, Cultures, Art, History, and Music. So first, I thought I should start with a brief presentation. My name is Luis Medina Cordova. I am the head of global engagement for the School of Languages, Cultures, Art, History, and Music. I am also a lecturer in modern languages. I have a research specialism in Latin American cultural studies, and more specifically on contemporary Latin American literature. I am originally from Ecuador, and not long ago, I was an international student in the UK as well. So some of the things that Vitor mentioned, they really resonated with my own experience. I hope that you can see my email on the screen because I am more than open to receive any queries via email. So just feel free to get in touch with me if you need advice, or if you want to talk about something that I cannot cover in this presentation today. So the first thing is, why choosing Birmingham? Our university was founded in 1900, and it was England's first civic or red brick university, which means that it was one of the first universities in the country where students from all backgrounds were accepted on an equal basis. We have a very large campus, a very green campus, which combines the best of both worlds. So it is a university campus that will give students a campus feeling, but at the same time, is just 20 minutes away from the city center, of the second largest city in the UK. As Victor was saying, we are a university with an international outlook, because 1/4 of our students and 1/3 of our staff comes from overseas. We are consistently ranked among the top 100 universities in the world. We have produced over 10 Nobel Prize winners. And next year, we are going to be celebrating 125 years of institutional life. So next year will be a particularly fun year to be around, because the university is going to organize some large parties to celebrate the 125 years. We are a sector-leading university. We belong to the Russell Group, which represents the 24 leading UK universities, or 24 leading UK universities in the country. And this group is often parallel to the Ivy League in the US. We are a global top 100 university, and importantly, we are the #1 university most targeted by leading employers in research data that is available. So employability is one of our big selling points. On top of that, we are consistently ranked among the best 100 universities in the world in all kind of rankings and tables. So as I was saying, I'm going to say a little bit about the College of Arts and Law, which is the college I belong to, but there are other 4 colleges in the university. And if you are interested in a program that is not related to arts and law, please go onto the university's website to see the full offer. Our core disciplines are English, drama and creative studies, history and cultures, law, philosophy, theology and religion, and languages, cultures, art, history, and music. We are 67th in the world for arts and humanities, according to the World Ranking 2025. And as I was saying, we are the #1 university for graduate employability in the UK. This is according to the graduate market report by High Flyers Research in 2024. We have some industry-leading facilities. We have art galleries, museums, sports facilities. We have everything you can imagine that it will be beneficial for your studies. What else? This is a picture of a beautiful campus. As Victor was saying, you can see some of the sports grounds there, and you can see Old Joe in the middle of the picture. And yeah, that's the campus. It's a beautiful campus that will give you a proper campus feeling, but again, it's just 15 minutes away from the city center, which is something that I must stress is not really easy to find in the UK, because you have the universities that are in the city and are a few buildings spread around the city, whereas we are in a big city, and at the same time we can provide a campus feeling. So this is my school, the School of Languages, Cultures, Art, History, and Music, and it comprises the departments of Modern Languages, Art, History, and Visual and Creating Studies, and the Department of Music. A few things to note is that we are, Modern Languages is one of the best 100 departments of modern languages in the world. We are #5 in the UK for art history and #12 in the UK for music. We have some facilities, some really incredible facilities, like the Bramall Bramall Building for Music, or the Elgar Concert Hall, the Barber Institute of Fine Arts, and we have an industry standard translation and interpreting suite. These are some research projects, but I'm just going to skip them over in the interest of keeping time. So some of the programs, some of the MA programs that you can apply for are the MA in Global Intercultural Communication, the MA in Art History and Curating Studies, the MA in Translation, the MA in Comparative Literature and Critical Theories, and the MA in Music. The MA in Global Intercultural Communications is a program that explores the impact of languages and cultures exchange and diversity, addressing critical issues of power, identity, and ethics. Some modules might include translation for business, intercultural communication, psychology of communication, and intercultural dynamics in promotional texts. The MA in Art History and Curation offers students to engage on hands-on curatorial projects, explore British art with strong interinstitutional connections, and gain commercial insights with modules focused on enterprising cultures. we also have an MA in translation and interpretation, and it offers a wide range of language pairs, but importantly for Brazilian applicants, we offer English to Portuguese and Portuguese to English translation and interpreting. We also have the MA in comparative literature and critical theories, which is my favorite program personally. Not only because it's focused on literature, but because it offers students an experience of an interdisciplinary experience, which allows them to explore global literary texts and critical theories. We have some leading researchers on the field teaching the modules here in literary studies, in postcolonial studies, in sexuality and gender studies. Yeah, so in music, we have quite a few options. We have a top tier building like the Bramal Music Building with the Edgar Concert Hall, which is just an amazing place to have a concert. So in music, you can choose a music MA with performance in choral conducting pathway, a music MA with performance, a music NA with composition, and a music with musicology and sound studies. So those are some of the few programs that I can talk about today, but there's more information on our website. So if you want to have more details, please just go to the website. I am going to talk about some of the admissions process now. So basically what you do is you apply for your postgraduate course by clicking on some specific links on our website in researching the degree that you're interested in. And although some of them will have specific requirements, the majority of them will require very similar stuff. Like, for example, your personal information, which is basic information about you, about what you do, etc. Your education record, where we normally require a second first honors degree, which is something that in the UK is used to signify second, like B+ or something like that. But there is a conversions tool on the website. So if you want to know what your local marks or your local grades mean, and how does it compare to the second first or to the first in the UK, you can see that online. You also have to submit a personal statement, which is one of the most important documents in a process, basically where you explain who you are and why you're interested in taking this program, the program that you're interested in. There are some programs which will require some specific things from each applicant. For example, in music, we also ask for students to send a video audition, but that of course doesn't apply to everybody. We will also require some references, academic and or personal reference, between 2 or 3 references, which you can provide by giving out some contact details or providing the full letters. The process is a bit different depending on what you choose. So if you already have the recommendation letter, you can just upload it, but you can also just give out the details of the person you want the university to contact on your name to request a reference. The deadline for the majority of MA programs is on May 2025, but for entry in September 2025. But I cannot stress enough how important it is to apply as early as you can. Early applications are encouraged because some of these programs will reach capacity and the applications will not work if the program is already full.
Thanks, Luis. I think this is probably the most important piece of information that people watching this video really need to know, right? Because again, we're bringing together the Chevening application process with the university application process, and deadlines are different for both. So as you know, for Chevening, for the scholarship funding for your course, the application window is always August to November every year for the following year entry. So for example, between August and November 2024, you apply for courses starting in September 2025. But as you can see here, the deadlines for applying for courses are slightly longer, right? But as just to reiterate what Louise was saying, it's important to apply as early as possible to make sure that you get into that, the cohort that the university is forming. Different courses will have different deadlines. Different courses will have different requirements. So it's really important to log on to the university web pages. All the information is there, right, Louise? And being very attentive to the information for each course that you're looking at.
Yeah, it is. So if I can say something else, basically, I would just say something about the English requirements, which I know it's very important to have them clear.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so we accept a wide variety of English tests, but the main ones tend to be the TOEFL and the IELTS. Different programs will require different levels of English and different marks in these tests. However, a good point of reference would be saying that for applications into arts and humanities programs, you would need to get at least an 88 in the overall TOEFL, with no less than 21 in some of these the TOEFL categories. In the IELTS is a 6.5 with no less than 6 in any of the bands, and you will have different specifications for other tests. However, again, all this information is available on our website. Yeah, those are the things that I wanted to say. And lastly, we offer our own scholarships and awards, but I know that this is a presentation about Chevening, so maybe you have that covered already. Thank you.
Oh no, that's really good, Louise, because I think for applicants, it's in everyone's interests, right, to actually know what's available. So it's really helpful to know that the university also offers specific awards and what they entail. So here you can see that they, so then applicants can see what they can work towards and what they will cover and how much they can contribute personally, etc. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, that's everything that I had in the scenario. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Yeah, thank you, Louise. So I think that's really comprehensive, really great to hear about how the University of Birmingham offers and how it works and where it's located. It's such a beautiful campus, such a, historical university with its own highlights. I think, being a red brick university is really meaningful, and it really it has this longitudinal thing, looking into the future, looking back, all the history, but also looking into the future and the innovation that it's bringing about through its research. Thank you for shedding a light on the departments that you cover. And I guess now we can move on to the Chevening side of things, so that people watching can really get a gauge as to what they have to do to be part of this selection process, and to start getting organized, because we know that planning and organization and research is key to putting in a successful, strong application. So we can bring all our different speakers today together, and hopefully, get more questions from the people watching. We have already one. I don't know, maybe we should just answer that first before we delve into Chevening. Is that okay? So do you have Masters in Applied Linguistics, Luis?
I am not 100% sure, because the linguistics department is part of the School of English, which is in the College of Arts and Law. However, it's a different school. So maybe it's something that you will have to look in the website, but I would say we probably have, because we have a quite an important school of Department of Linguistics as well. So maybe you can find that online.
And it's very likely that there will be several linguistics courses that you can browse. And one thing that Luis said that I think is different to how master's programs work in Brazil, and maybe our colleagues from Ecuador and Mexico can say as well, is interdisciplinarity, right? So you will see that there's mixtures between areas and departments and schools. And so it could be that in linguistics you get that interchange. So it's really worthwhile looking at the options and looking at the professors, the lecturers, the researchers working, teaching in those modules to see which one is best for you. Because sometimes we'll come in, with a fixed idea, with a, thinking that it's similar to what we're used to, but we'll find that it's very different. So open yourself up to the possibilities is what I have to say about that. But shall we move on then to the Chevening side of things?
Yes.
So,
Chris, sorry to interrupt.
No,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know about the specific MA in linguistics, but probably one of our alumna from Mexico, she's from the southern state of Chiapas. She did a TESOL, MA in TESOL, which is teaching English for other speakers, not native speakers of English. So maybe, I don't know the program as well, I don't remember, but maybe as you pointed out, there is something like similar between, with respective differences between applied linguistics and TESOL, maybe.
Absolutely. I think the combinations can be really surprising as well, and innovative and thought-provoking. So I'd welcome everyone to go to the Birmingham website to have a look at that. So from the Chevening perspective, so as we mentioned, we have 2 selection processes, and for Chevening, there's some basic eligibility, which is what I'll be going through, and then my colleagues Daphne and Kimi will talk about the selection criteria. So in terms of applying for Chevening, you need to have your graduate diploma in hand. So you must have completed your undergraduate course in order to apply. You need to upload it alongside your application by the 5th of November on our website. So all the Chevening application is done completely online. Chevening.org is where you will do that. You can register for an account, and you can also find loads of information. There's a lot there, frequently asked questions, guidelines, all kinds of information to help you put in a strong application, right? Another eligibility requirement is having some professional experience, right? So we say around 2 years of professional experience. This does not mean you need to have worked for 2 years after you graduate. It means that you should have had some experience in the workplace outside of your degree, but it can be done alongside your degree. So if you've done some volunteering, if you had like a part-time job, if you helped out in events that are not part of your undergraduate degree, then that counts. And in the Chevening website, chevening.org, you can find an estimate of hours for that. I think that's about 2,800 hours. But there's a calculator that can help you figure out if you have that experience. And the reason why we asked that is because we want applicants to demonstrate their leadership potential. And we understand that we gain and we develop and we strengthen our leadership through first-hand experience, like actually going through problems, finding solutions to them, working with others, and so on. So that's why we put in that requirement, and we encourage everyone watching this to not only reflect on that, you know, how you impact and how you bring about results in everything that you do, but also to look for more experiences so that you can challenge yourself and you can, you know, expand your repertoire, you can expand your horizons, and you can really like challenge yourself intellectually, professionally, because that's exactly the profile that we're looking for. And you also, so another eligibility requirement is that you need to have the nationality of a participating country. So if you're Brazilian, if you're Ecuadorian, if you are Mexican, so on and so forth, and Chevening is present in 160 countries. You must not hold British nationality, so you unfortunately won't be able to apply, you won't be eligible. And if you've already received a scholarship or any funding from the British government, you're also not eligible. But hopefully everyone watching here will be eligible and feeling even more empowered to put in an application. And I think that's all, right, for eligibility criteria. Okay, so let's move on to selection process. So we focus on 4 skills, and my colleague Daphne will talk through 2 of them.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you everyone that has joined this session. And we all encourage you to apply to this amazing scholarship. So yes, as Chris said, we're looking for the leaders of the future. So you will need to demonstrate that you have these abilities. So you will need to complete 4 essays, all in English, and you will have a space from 150 to 500 words to basically tell us your story. What is your background, your professional background, and what are these plans or main projects that you want to develop in the future. So the first essay you will need to complete is about leadership and influencing. So here we are looking that you will need to tell us with 1 or maximum 2 specific examples how you have these leadership abilities. So you will need to have like very clear examples on how your previous experience, your previous professional experience relates also with what you're going to study, the master you're going to choose. We have heard about Birmingham and the amazing opportunities they offer. So how this puzzle connects, so how your previous experience connects with what you want to study, and then what is the project that you want to develop in the future. So it's very important that in this first essay, you focus on the how. So maybe have you ever lead on a project or in a team or on an initiative? So tell us about this experience. What was the impact this project had? Or maybe the results, positive, negative, what were the lessons learned in these experiences? So it's very important to focus on these specific examples of your career, and do not lose time maybe telling us about what a leader looks like or giving like some criteria, but just focus on what have you already done on this area. And also it's important to focus in your work experiences more than in your academic experiences. So as Chris said, we're looking for people, and this is the why we ask for a 2 years experience, is because we need you to tell us about how you have become a leader and how you have this potential to become a leader and an agent of change in the future. Just if you have just had any like leadership position in your previous work experiences, this is not enough. So please go deep in your examples. Tell us about these experiences in a profound way. So this is about the first essay. The second essay you will need to complete is about your networking skills. So tell us how in your academic, in your professional life, how have you been connecting with other people? Maybe have you created a network? Are you part of a network? And tell us about how have you used this network to your own benefit, to your projects, to your initiatives, and also how are you contributing to these networks? And I think here it's very important to remind that Chevening is not only going to a scholarship and to do a master's fully paid in the UK. There's a more big goal and objective and a bigger benefit of it, and it's that you are becoming part of a whole community, the Chevening community. So tell us, please, how you are going to use this community for your project. Maybe someone in the Chevening community that you want to meet while you are in the UK. And also, Vitor just told us that there are these amazing events when you go to the UK where you get to connect with other leaders, with other people that such as you want to do big changes in their countries. So tell us, how are you going to use these networks? And also, it's very important here that you do not give general answers, but once again, you need to give us a clear example on how are you using these networks in your professional life. And also, just being part maybe of a social network or of a social media channel, for example. This is not an enough strong example. So please tell us more. How are you connecting with other people? How are you working with other people to get your projects to another level? And most important, once again, how this whole puzzle connects and how are you going to use these connections in the future for your future projects? So that will be my tips for the first 2 essays. Thank you, Chris.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Daphne. And Kimi will tell us about the other 2 criteria.
Yes, thank you, Chris. And once again, thank you for the invite. And happy to share this session with Peter and, of course, with a Latin American colleague, Luis. Happy to be here. So imagine that your essays, the thing that we want you to tell us about these 4 essays are 4 chapters of the story that you are going to tell us about you, how you are going to convey us, how you are going to present us. So before going into the detail, into the last 2 important essays, try to be as authentic as you can be. You don't need to exaggerate. You don't need to lie. I can guarantee that there is an exact example for you to showcase that leadership, that relationship building potential that you have, either in your personal, academic, or so on. So what about the 3rd chapter of your story is why the UK? Why you want to study in the UK? Victor already told us about why he selected, in particular, this university, Birmingham, because of their ability, the expertise of the university to handle with global students, and of course, the city and so on, how he discovered about the city. But in this chapter, we want you to tell us why you selected in particularly the country, not only the university, the country as well. Why, for example, not going to the US or to Spain or to France, Germany, other countries? What attracted you about the UK expertise? What is about the policies that UK probably, or the projects that the UK is implementing in your country, or for example, through UK in Brazil, UK in Ecuador, UK in Mexico? Yes, what is the link that you want to establish? Because remember, you will keep those connections for the rest of your life at one point or another of your life. So tell us why you are interested in the UK's expertise and knowledge, and of course, in particularly to the university chosen in this case. As Victor told us, of course, you cannot copy his rationale, but you can get inspired by him. And why you selected the university, why those specific courses, why, for example, Brazil, in this case, needed for someone to go and do a MSc International Business, why it was relevant for your country, because you will spend there a whole year. So tell us how those link the country, the university, and of course, why the applicability that will have later on. And this relates with the last part of your story. What's your career plan? You go to the UK, you went to Birmingham to study MSc International Business, perfect. But then what are you going to do with all that knowledge and experience and probably the connections that you will strengthen or that probably you will develop while there? How you're going to apply all of that combined in your future career plan? How will this benefit your country? And of course, what is the role of Chevening in all this story? So we want you to tell us that. If you want more information about what to write and what not to write on the essays, I recommend you to go deep into the Chevening webpage. There you can find excellent articles on the do's and don'ts. recommendations, not by us Chevening officers, because we have to be neutral and objective, but by the reading committee, feedback of what they can see in the applications that they have attracted, of course, and what they can see in the what they have seen in the applications that probably you can improve on it. So I think that's it from my side as well. If there are any comments or questions, please write them on the chat. Thank you, Chris.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Daphne and Kimi, for your contributions. It's been like really clear and great tips as well. So I just wanted to conclude by just saying, you know, when you are putting in your application for the university, you're going towards a more academic application, right? So the people making a judgment, assessing your application, will be looking at that side. So what's your academic potential? What's your academic history? And what can you contribute from your perspective to the program? And what is the program trying to achieve individually through you, but also through the cohort that they're forming? So I think, you know, a good application will take those things into consideration. And for Chevening, we're not making an academic assessment or application, right? We've been, you know, talking about the impact that we want our scholars to make in the country that you're returning to. So I think that's another key point and a key eligibility criteria as well. Well, both selection and eligibility, actually. So if you are Brazilian and you're wanting to study in the UK, it's important that you think about what your impact will be when you return, right? Exactly what Kimi was saying. And there is a requirement, there's a 2-year minimum requirement that you return to your country, your home country, after you complete your master's. So it's really important that you are clear about that and that that's reflected in your application. We want to hear what it is, that impact that you want to do for at least 2 years, but obviously for longer, you know, the longer the better. So take that into consideration. Chevening will be making a judgment, you know, will be assessing you on your leadership potential and the impact that you want to bring out into your country, your region, your city, your town, right? It's if you can make that clear, then, you know, you're halfway there. Right, I think that's it. I think we've answered the questions. We've put the links on the chat. I wanted to thank you all for, you know, joining us today, sharing your insights, your tips, your background, your experience, your repertoire with us. It's been really, really insightful. And I really hope that we receive some applications from the people watching us today. And I'm sure all of you have helped loads of people as well by sharing your thoughts today here as well. All right. Thank you so much and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Chris, for inviting me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And good luck.
Yes, good luck all.